When Victoria's Secret went woke, we all called them out and said this isn't gonna last because there was no possible way that they were going to keep the audience they previously had while also garnering new hype behind their projects. But Victoria's Secret is now ditching prioritizing wokeness over sexiness after their sales saw a massive decline. I have a few different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or via YouTube memberships. Now, I say this all of the time, but sexy sells, and that is not a problem. I have no problems with seeing beautiful women in entertainment, whether it's video games, movies, TV shows, on billboards, on advertisements. These are not negative things, in my opinion, and I do think that highlighting beauty is a good thing to do, but Victoria's Secret decided that that was not what they wanted to do anymore. They brought on the LGBTQ feminist advisor, Megan Rapone, and thought everything was gonna go well, that she was going to bring their company to new heights, and unfortunately for them, that was the worst decision possible. But we said this when that happened, and they didn't care, but now it looks like they're starting to care after their sales have seen sharp declines. It says the lingerie chain Victoria's Secret is reportedly ditching its woke feminist makeover of recent years as it hasn't translated to business success. Since the brand decided to move away from its hypersexualized image, as Business of Fashion described it in a recent article, Victoria's Secret has seen a significant revenue drop. As such, it has looked to revamp itself to bring back sexiness, the outlet noted in a piece that was also published by the editorial partner CNN on Tuesday. It says Kathleen Chen reported that the brand's efforts to promote inclusivity, which included making LGBTQ pro-women soccer player and outspoken leftist Megan Rapone, as well as a transgender woman brand spokesperson, and getting rid of its famous angel supermodels, gained favorable reviews from online critics but never translated into sales. Now, as a woman myself, I wouldn't support Victoria's Secret just because they're bringing in an outspoken leftist and an LGBTQ pro-women soccer player. I was honestly insulted as a woman that they got rid of the famous angels, because for years and years and years they did the runway shoots, and of course they took the pretty images of these women. They just were very feminine, right? And I like seeing femininity, whether it is again in entertainment or in advertising. I like to see beauty as a woman. It should just be that simple. But it wasn't to them. They decided to do a complete 180, change up the company, and it didn't work for them. Yes, online critics absolutely ate it up because that's what they do. I mean, you look at journalists, a lot of them don't want to see this in media, but it never translated into sales, and it's really no surprise to see why. This feminist makeover that they did absolutely failed, because they could have promoted inclusivity by just putting very unique looking women into advertisements. That wouldn't be a problem. The problem was they got rid of the angels. They tried to completely revamp their image, and as a woman myself, this isn't going to get me to swipe my credit card. When I look at these models, I see something I would never want to be, so it doesn't make me want to purchase anything that they're wearing, which is what the models are supposed to do. They're showing us the product and enticing us to buy it, but in no way do these models make me want to buy anything from Victoria's Secret. The feminist revamp they tried stripped Victoria's Secret of its identity, and it completely backfired. Femininity and female sexuality should be celebrated and not watered down, which is exactly what they did. And yes, it does punish women, but also mostly punishes men to push their modern message, because that's what modern day feminism is about, punishing men. Their modern message of body positivity in a lot of these cases are these unhealthy looking people that they want us to just adhere and accept accept as beauty, and that's not going to happen. They're not beautiful. They claim that the hypersexualized look of the angels is not realistic to the average woman, but then they present to us the complete opposite by giving us, in many cases, an unhealthy fake version of beauty, which isn't beautiful and isn't gonna sell. It says, though, according to the numbers, the lingerie brand's projected revenue for 2023 is $6.2 billion, which is 5% lower than it was last year and even lower than 2020 when the brand's revenue was $7.5 billion. So it's not like they have completely fallen off the map. They are making no money. They're still making billions of dollars, but to these companies that are making billions of dollars, when you see a decline of like $2 billion or $1 billion, you're going to freak out and you're going to go, what are we doing wrong? It says the drop in Victoria's Secret sales also followed the company's move to make its board of directors mostly female. In 2021, Rapone called out what the brand had been before the revamp, claiming it had been sent out a really harmful message that was patriarchal, sexist, viewing not just what it meant to be sexy, but what the clothes were trying to accomplish through a male lens and through what men desired. Is it a bad thing to want to wear clothing that looks appealing to men as a woman? Of course not. No, but she was trying to convince women that that was the case and ultimately convince this company internally that that was, sexist and patriarchal, and that's just disgusting, and well, they shouldn't have listened to this feminist in the first place. And of course, the internet is rejoicing over this. Disclosed TV had posted this thread saying that Victoria's Secret is going back to sexiness after inclusive woke push saw sales plummet, and people are saying things like, did someone in their marketing team finally realize their target audience is men? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious to see, but part of their audience is men simply because there are a lot of women who go to these stores to buy the clothing and the items to show off and dress up for their significant others. That should not be a bad thing, but part of their target audience is men, and probably more than a lot of people realize. People are saying things like fat people are over Victoria's Secret. They did choose a lot of, I'm just going to say, unpleasant looking women to do their campaigns, and it clearly just did not sell. Again, they could have chosen, unique looking women. Slightly on the bigger side would have been fine. All different types of skin colors and ethnicities, like that would have been perfectly fine, but they didn't just do that. They went like above and beyond to get rid of any women that could be, seen as conventionally attractive. There's also a lot of people talking about how quickly they're going to do this, how quickly they are going to go back to sexiness, if it's going to be, a year or two process, or if they're instantly going to try to change their marketing around, like if they've internally been planning this for a while. But yeah, I mean, everything woke turns to shit, and these feminists ruin everything they touch. It is good to see that they are reversing course and actually going back to what made Victoria's Secret so popular in the first place. But in my opinion, it's always great to see sexy winning the day, because attractiveness, femininity, these are things that should not be attacked. These are things that should be seen as amazing, okay? These things should not be villainized, and unfortunately we have seen media over the years villainizing femininity, and I'm glad to see that it is winning out in the end. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.